All right. We're back again. Another week of us weirdos. Anyways.
Our last one before our Christmas vacation.
I know it's our last episode.
And at the time of recording this, we're anticipating a big snowstorm, so we might very well just be stuck in our homes.
Yay! But anyways, welcome to another episode of Paranormal. So my name is Rachel, and we have
I'm Kaz, and potentially for the last time, we have Chester the Jester with us as co-host. Let's see what random funny things he has to say today. You never know with him.
No, never. Hi, Chester. Welcome
Rachel
back.
says hi. I don't know if he can hear you because I have my earphones in.
Oh.
So, are you glad this is going to be your last time, Chester? Maybe. I don't know. He might be back by popular demand. We'll see. Because
we might just do a whole episode on Chester.
He's got a bit of a fan base, but we'll see. Anyways, I guess you just chime in when you want.
Just a wee bit.
Don't be mad. You can talk. It's okay.
All right.
Anyways.
Whenever he wants to introduce himself and say hi, he can.
Yeah. Maybe because he doesn't have like a cute little headband on today. He's all mad. You were mad last week when you had a headband on.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. Talk, don't talk.
So, well, there isn't much going on in our world right now. We are winding down. We just did
The children sing. The children sing.
It is Christmas. There's lots of children singing.
Maybe they do.
But yeah,
none of them in our story today.
No, I don't have any children singing in my stories.
No. Mine are all dead in my stories.
So are mine. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we just finished a ghost talks at the Blackheart Blackheart Company in Oshawa.
There is no peace. There's no peace when the kids sing. You know what it is? This time of year, carolers. You're right, Chester. Knocking on the door, being like, "Oh, call the bells here," and you're like, "Fuck off." There's no peace.
No, there's not. And if it isn't them knocking on the doors, it's people looking for donations.
Oh, see, that's the benefit of living out here. If someone knocks on the door, you're literally like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Because no one knocks on the door. Over.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
But yeah, anyway, so we just finished a presentation at the Blackheart Co. in Oshawa, which is a spooky little store that sells a whole bunch of like different like handmade, homemade kind of like items, stickers, jewelry, clothing, books. It's pretty cool. If you haven't been, we suggest you go. It's kind of got that, it's a little hole in the wall, really, on a side street in Oshawa, where you can find some pretty unique and really, I could have bought the whole store.
I know. Good thing you said to me, hold your horses because we're going to be somewhere else in a few weeks. Yeah. I was literally on a spending spree.
Yeah.
But I got a couple of really cute things. And I'll have to go back. And I'm going to take my daughter because that's right up her alley.
Yeah. So speaking of like when I told Kaz there to hold her horses, because next week, so literally a week after this airs, so on the 21st, we will be at Creepmas, which is at Sir Monty's, the old strip club that Chester is super excited to go to.
He will be making an appearance there. You can come get your picture with him.
We'll give him some festive ears too.
He's probably... you don't know that yet, Chesty, but you're going to be on display for people to take their picture with you. And get a visual of Chester. Good job, buddy. They will. They'll have a visual of you.
Great. But yeah, so we will be there. Again, we're just there with a spooky booth so people can ask questions and kind of take a little break from shopping. But we're also doing a giveaway basket, which is going to have some, in it, ghosty things that you can keep for yourself, or you can gift it to someone. And it's also going to include 2 tickets
to Edward's event.
No idea who Edward is. No, I don't. But yeah, it's going to also include 2 tickets to a public event of your choosing. So we have a whole bunch of public events happening in what?
Edward suddenly. We'll hear the rest of this conversation in a second.
Edward
suddenly what, darling? What did Edward suddenly do?
win my tickets.
Yeah.
But anyways, it'll be 2 tickets
won.
it should say a public investigation of your choosing. So we have a whole bunch happening in 2026, and we will give you a list of ones you can choose from, and you can choose from them. So yeah,
it will be hard to pick.
Yeah, you know what? Given where we do our public events, I would hate having to pick.
I know.
You know, each location offers something completely different, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, good luck to everyone.
That's just the news now, because after that, it's Christmas. Yay.
Yeah, it's kind of coming up fast, I suppose.
It's not fast enough. I just wanted to be done and over with, because my work loves to give me a week and a bit off paid. I just want the vacation.
I have not really, I might have one person done for shopping. I'm usually like done Christmas shopping by now, and I've barely started, and I'm like, Edward suddenly speaking. Nope. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing this year. Chester, can you help me? I need gift ideas for people.
No Spanish donkeys. Unless you buy like a real donkey and it's Spanish.
I don't need any more pets on this freaking farm, okay? None.
It would be a funny farm.
Oh
my gosh. Well, speaking of home.
Yes, nice segue.
This is an episode that we have entitled Home for the Holidays, because we're going to talk about all these cool little, experiences that we've had investigating over the years that we've kind of connected with. And, it's kind of got a little personal touch. Not to say that it is us personally, but we were the ones that were able to figure it out. So it kind of feels like we solved the puzzle or solved the mystery, right? So who wants to go first? I could talk for hours about this, but I won't bore everybody.
The screen just went crazy. Well, we can start, right, Chester? Because this literally is hung. I don't want to know, Chester. I don't want to know. This literally
asked him what for some help for Christmas, and he said hung.
Yeah,
so you're
just
gonna
go hang yourself. Oh, I'm thinking like go hang yourself. Go hang the children. Give them each a noose and be like, fuck off.
Oh, just some rope.
That's not a bad idea. That was me. He did not just lurch forward. That was a little scary for a second. Okay, so this literally is very close to home, aka my home. So last April, my stepdaughter says to me, can we use your Spirit Talker app, because she's really fascinated by it. And I won't let them play with the other equipment because it's expensive and I don't really want to get it all set up. So turned on the app and a few things came up. And then we got the name Rachel, Matthew, and Catherine. Then we got we're outside. And then we got we're watching from the windows. And then we got we're buried in the bushes. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. And my stepdaughter was like, what the fuck? She was really quite scared. My stepson, I'm in the shadows. Probably. They're probably listening. Just wait, we're getting to you. So I screenshot it and I sent it to Rachel. I was like, ha, 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 this is so funny. Haha. And within, I don't know, a day, she's like, well, here's the report of your house. And it very well happened that these people pretty much are buried in my backyard. So, where I live, there's a number of pretty predominant families. But this one is the Devitt family. So there is a road that is named after them. So the road, cemetery, and a church was named after the Devitts. John Devitt was born in 1789 in Northern Ireland. He married Elizabeth Ann Brandon in 1815. They had 11 children. 6 were born in Ireland and 5 were born in Canada. Their oldest son was Matthew Devitt, born in Ireland in 1815. Right, the same year they were married. Anyways, he married Rachel. So Matthew and Rachel were 2 of the names. Gervin in 1841. They had 10 children. You do like to come here, Matthew. I bet you do. So in 1840, Matthew purchased 200 acres on Lot 19, Concession 3 from a Charles A. Dunlop. In the mid-1850s, Matthew sold the southeast corner of the property to Wesleyan Methodist Church and burial grounds. Now, the church that was on the property burned down shortly after the 1900s, but the Devitt Cemetery is there still today. So on the street that I live on, which is basically what the Matthew Devitt would have owned, at the end of the road is the cemetery. Where Matthew, Rachel, and the other Devitts are buried. Now, Matthew was a very predominant member in the community. He was rumored to have volunteered and was present for the storming of Montgomery's Tavern. So if you don't know what that is, like me, I Googled it. In 1837, the rebellions of Upper Canada, so Upper Canada is now considered Ontario and Quebec. You're taking your time giving us right answers. That's fine. Do what you want, Chesty. So there was an uprising against the political and economical system. They claimed that the economy was had inequality and injustice, especially towards the working class. So the leader of the rebellion was William Leon Mackenzie, who used
Lion.
What did I say, Leon?
Yeah, you did.
Maybe it was Leon's. Maybe that's where the furniture store came from. He used the tavern as headquarters to meet, and the tavern still exists. It's on Mount Pleasant in Toronto, just so you know. Okay, so back to the story. So November 8th, 1860, Matthew Devitt died in a very tragic logging accident on the property in the wooded area, which is basically pretty much where my house is. He was loading timber onto a cart when it came loose and fell on him. So kind of probably squishing him right then and there where it was. Rumors say the lumber was for the church, but it also could have been for his house. The church sounds a lot nicer. Sorry, Chesty, I didn't mean to just bash you. Rachel, his wife, remained on the property, but eventually the youngest son, Samuel Alexander Devitt, took over the land. Matthew, Rachel, and Samuel are buried in the cemetery down the street. So not so much in the bushes, but literally down the street. And they're sinister. Maybe not. So it was very interesting.
His death was sinister.
It was pretty gruesome. So it was very interesting that the names came out and were correct, and that they could very well have been watching from the window and pretty much buried in the bushes, because the cemetery, it's a cute little cemetery surrounded by bushes.
Cemetery.
Yeah. I wish I knew where the church was, because where the cemetery is, there's nothing that suggests like a foundation for a church. There is, just down from the cemetery, there's now like a weird pondy thing. So I don't know if it was there. I don't know.
What year was the church built? Does it say?
It doesn't say the year. So he sold it in the mid 1850s to the Methodist Church, and then it burned down before the 1900s. So it was the Wesleyan Methodist Church. I did Google it to try and find any information, but there was nothing.
I'm wondering if the 1878 map would indicate, because they usually indicate on the map. They usually indicate a building by putting a black square exactly where the building is where the building is located. Sometimes if it's a church, they'll put like a little cross, right? So you can, and then if it's school, they'll write school. So I'm wondering if I took a look for that.
Yeah, I would really love to know where it was.
It would have been like right beside it for the most part.
It's so in the story that I was reading, it said it was on the southwest side, which is not true, because the cemetery is the southeast side. So
unless it was across the street.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, whether the cemetery is across the street from the church, but it said the church and cemetery were on the southwest. You're not making a lot of sense today, Chester McGester.
Maybe he was strangled by the wood. Maybe it landed on his neck.
Maybe.
Just saying, I don't know.
Well, didn't he say hung earlier?
Mm-hmm.
And now
I don't know if any of my stories have any of that.
No, mine don't.
Oh, yes, it does.
Oh, he's ahead of the game.
Maybe I should tell that now then.
I guess you want to hear the story about someone being strangled? Okay. Chester's choice.
Okay. So I'm going to have to look this up quickly, because I was just going to say the story and not say any names, but now I'm going to define names, because obviously Chester really wants to hear about this story.
Do you know the names? He deserves to hear the story.
I deserve. Oh, Lord.
He deserves the name. Oh, they deserve to have their names told, I would suppose.
Okay. That's why. I was like, I know the name. It's just really familiar. But it's not. Okay. So, this is how this whole team works and how we work. So this is how you're going to learn how we put everything together, where we have our holy shit moment. All right. So years and years and years ago, there's a place in Whitby called the Whitby Centennial Building, or the Whitby Courthouse Theater. It's on Center Street. It's a huge, massive building. You can't miss it. It used to be the county courthouse. It used to be a courthouse and a jail. And it is where they actually did 2 hangings.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is reported. It is documented. They know they happened there. They're thinking it happened where the parking lot is in the back. Anyways, so for however long people can remember, this location has been haunted. So now they first said that it was haunted by a man, and he was the one.
Despair.
This is gonna make a lot of sense. He was the one inside the courthouse, the courtroom, which is now the theater. Okay. All right. So, it was said that, he was on the second floor balcony, which was like the viewing area for family and people to watch court cases. And his nephew or son was being tried for sexual assault or something like that. Something, not very good. And when the guilty verdict was read, he did not appreciate that verdict, and he rushed towards the front of the balcony to, protest. And if you go there now and you're up on the balcony, if you get the chance, the balcony, like, it goes to your knees. Like, anybody rushing up would just, right? Well,
right.
That's exactly what he did. But anyways, that's the story most people.
Beverly.
Most people tell you about. Now, if you ask locals and a lot of the older generations, they'll tell you about the woman that they hear crying outside. Okay.
Was her name Beverly?
No.
Oh.
No.
For a second, I was like, oh, shit.
So they would always hear this woman sobbing and crying outside, and they could never figure it out. Well, our teammate Allison. What?
Don't go down there.
Well, I'm going down there.
Don't go down that rabbit hole.
Well, it's not a rabbit hole anymore. But anyway. So our team member Allison has done a bunch of work events there, and every time she's there, she's bothered by a woman. Now, this woman would give her bits and pieces, and she was this spirit woman, I should say.
Don't move.
Green light. Anyways, so she would ask this. So Allison would ask this woman, like, who she is and all that, and she would get very vague answers. She felt a lot of sorrow with her. She felt. You look up. She felt like a lot of like throat restriction. So she asked me, did they ever do hangings here? I said yes. They had 2. She's like, did they ever hang a woman for a crime? And I said, no. So I started digging because I had to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find the story quickly, because this is going to put everything together. So, what? Oh,
Jasmine. A whole new world.
Oh my God. So in 1908 or 1909, let me find it here. I want to get the exact date for you guys. Do elevator music. Okay. Okay.
Do you like how singing? We were just both singing. What do you think, Chester? What do you think of us singing? Is it good?
So yeah, so 19 is good. I'm gonna say it's 1908 because he was hanged in 1909. Alrighty.
What did you say his name was? Edward?
Not me.
Oh, no. Do you know his name, though?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you dying?
I'm choking now. This is
his voice.
As I choke.
Yeah.
Okay. So this happened in Uxbridge. All right. So this is how far people would travel when they were reprimanded into custody and all that. So in 1908, so we're going there. A man by the name of Archibald McLaughlin decided that he wanted to, I guess, not be married anymore, and he wanted to be with his mistress.
Okay.
So I should preface this that Archibald MacDonald was married to his wife, and they had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. So he decided he just didn't want to be married anymore. And so he drugged his wife and his 2 boys. His daughter was at a neighbor's house.
Okay.
So he drugged them, and then he set the house on fire.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I'm just trying to see if I can find the actual story here.
Understanding.
Thanks, Chuck.
Understanding. He understands why this guy did it.
That's great.
Listen, buddy, I've been there.
I should have had this one ready off the bat, but now I feel bad. Okay.
Oh dear.
Here you go. He was the first man to be hung at, well, the first out of the two to be hung at the Centennial Building. So it said the first murder was from Uxbridge. So Archibald McLaughlin was hanged outside on July 13th, 1910. He had a lady friend on the side and wanted to run away with her. So, being a married man at 27 years old, he decided to poison his wife and 2 children and then set fire to the house. His arson skills were lacking, and the coroner was able to determine that the family had been fed, and I'm going to say this wrong, strychnine?
Strychnine?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yes,
so the sentencing came down on May 20th, 1910. And he was sentenced to the common jail, where he'll remain until July 13th. And then he will be hanged by his neck until dead.
Yikes.
Followed by, may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
What you get for poisoning and murdering your family.
I know, that is the crying woman because, well,
stay a while.
Okay.
No plan of going anywhere.
I know.
You're stuck with us dead people. But that's kind of like how we piece everything together.
Wow.
Because no one could figure out why there was a crying woman in Whitby, but we know why. Oh, and by the way,
so she's the mistress?
No, she's the wife.
I think her name is
Elizabeth. Well,
of course it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth Mary, it's one of the two.
Yeah. But guess what? Archibald McLaughlin is actually buried at Union Cemetery in Oshawa in an unmarked grave.
Oh shit. Do they have like a potter's field there, or is it, how do they know he's there?
Because that's where they buried him, and they didn't mark it because he was a criminal. But they still gave him a proper burial. I'd like to know where it is.
Yeah.
Because they can't bury on top, so it's just going to be an empty space. Like, right? There's no marker or anything. It's just an empty space.
Weird.
But that is that one.
Well, you are protected.
Oh, yay.
That's good to know. Well, the next one is kind of an awesome little ditty. Again, really close to home. So this spans back to October when we decided I don't think it was the very first time, but we had just decided on the podcast we were going to start using the Spirit Talker app just for shits and giggles to have it blaring in the sort of foreground in case anything fun came up. Because I don't know what's cruising around my home, but there's always something lingering around. So on October 20th, we had My Name is Mildred. And we were like, hi, Mildred. Didn't think anything of it. The next week, October 27th, we got My Name is Mildred. And we were like, what up, Mildy? Welcome back. On November 1st, we went back to King City Museum. Is that what they're called? Cultural Museum?
Heritage and Cultural Center.
There you go. We had previously been to this location in July to do a private investigation with Paranormal Seekers. And then they invited us back to do a public event. And so when we were there, now, I should say, when we went in July, there are 4 buildings on the property, one of which is the scariest church I've ever seen in my life. And where is my body? Right here. Unless, Mildred, this is you. In which case, hold your horses. I'm getting to you. There's a reason I'm talking about the King City one. So this church, very, very scary, was under renovations. And when we went back to do the public event, we were told that day, we're really sorry, but you can't actually go in it. They wouldn't get approval for them to, the fire marshal didn't give approval. So we couldn't go in there. So at the end of the night, we're packing up, getting ready to leave, and we're walking back to headquarters, I suppose, where all of our stuff was. And I just so happened to see a bunch of pews sitting outside. And I said to the staff member, it must suck that all the stuff's waiting to go back in the church and you can't get approval to go in. And she's like, oh no, we're not putting the original pews back in there. They're just being scrapped. Long story short, I ended up with 2 of them in my barn. So November 3rd, so this is 2 days later now, I decide to go out to the barn and set up my Spirit Pocket app and a video recorder and just let it run on top of these pews and see what happens. So no sooner had I put the Spirit Talker app on, I had a few things come up, and then I got Mildred, and then I got Smith. And I jokingly said, hey, Mildred, is Smith your last name? And it said, correct. And then it said, what is it? Electric shock. So I was like, Mildred Smith, huh? There are 3 cemeteries very close to my house. And lo and behold, I found a Mildred Smith in one of those cemeteries. So I sent a picture of it to Rachel. I was like, holy shit. And she did her magic. And let's talk about Mildred Smith. So Mildred Archer Smith was born April 22nd, which I think is my aunt's birthday. No, it's not. 1919 in Minden Township, which is funny because Minden is a place we've been before and love. She is the daughter of Florence Vincent and Wilbert Archer. She grew up in Cadmus, Ontario, which is literally where I sit upon this chair. She's down the street. She attended the original Cadmus school. No, it's not. That's true. Actually, Cadmus is like, the sign for Cadmus is just down the street and we're considered Blackstock. Okay. Sorry, Chester. Get it right.
That might have been Mildred.
Could have been Mildred too. Mildred, say hi if that's you. So she attended the original Cadmus school before it burnt down. And then she went to the Blackstock school. So very, very close. She moved to Toronto where she became a nurse. She then met and married her husband, Everett Bertram Bert Smith. To accommodate her husband's work schedule, Mildred left the nursing industry and began working at Honeywell's Canada. Although Mildred grew up in Cadmus and Blackstock, she and Bertram built a life in Scarborough. On December 23rd, 1962, although in some ancestry things it says 1963, but I think they're wrong because their headstone says 62. Mildred and Bertram were on their way to Blackstock to visit family and deliver Christmas gifts. There was a terrible winter storm, and somehow Mildred, who was driving, ended up in the wrong lane and struck an oncoming car head-on. Mildred and Bertram died instantly. The other car had a mother and her 2 sons, all of which survived, but with some bad injuries. Mildred and Bertram, along with Mildred's parents, Florence and Wilbert, are buried in the Cartwright Union Cemetery, which is 3 minutes from my house. And interestingly enough, since we looked her up and found her and I went to see her, we haven't heard from her. Although we did get Mildred last week when we were talking about a strip club.
I thought she might be a strip club.
But we're not sure that's the same Mildred.
Probably not.
How very interesting.
I love when that just
yes. Don't be fearful of that stuff. We won't be. We won't be fearful. We love it. That's why we asked for last names. Because until Mildred had said her last name, we just thought it was a rando name.
Just another old name.
Yeah. It was I think I sent you, holy shit, Mildred exists. And then a snapshot of her picture. Or not her picture, but of her grave.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I will talk now about Mike and Nick.
Yes.
So a lot of people listening might already know this story, but a lot of people don't know the origin of it. It's not the trees. But it could be the trees. I don't know. Anyways, okay, so back in 2016, 2017, we did our first investigation of Lang Pioneer Village. First time we've ever been there. We all split off into smaller groups and we kind of circulated the buildings so we weren't all together. So we had like four smaller groups of like 3 people apiece. Okay. So myself and Allison and then a previous team member, we were investigating the guest services building, which is, to where, if you've been to, their All Hallows Eve, it's where we are. So we're investigating that. Now at that time, they had in the back room, they had
I just froze. No technical difficulties.
They had a military display. We went in August, so it was coming up to November, obviously. So they had a whole military display where they, were displaying artifacts from local people that had served in the military. They had some. That was really loud. And then they had like some like recreations and stuff like that. Didn't think anything of it. We walked in there. We didn't investigate it. And we took a look at stuff and we left. We finished our investigation. And the next time we went out, which was shortly after that, I'm not quite sure exactly where it was, but we're doing ghost box sessions. We're asking questions. And we would say, who's here with us? And we would hear Nick, Mike. And we're like, Nick, Mike, who the heck are these? Okay, whatever. Who knows? Just random names. Allison and I worked at a escape room facility to get together, and it was an authentically haunted building. So it was a truly haunted building. So we would bring our equipment there and we would use it while we worked. We weren't doing anything, gotta keep testing it out. Like, you can't really say you're an investigator if you don't keep investigating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we would always bring it there, and then we would always get, when we'd ask who's here with us, we would always hear Nick, Mike, and we're like, who the hell are these guys? Like, who are these 2 people? So I'm like, okay, we need to go talk to somebody because we need to figure out where to start, because we don't know where to start. We know there's no Nick and no Mike at the location that we're at. So where is it? Where do they come from? All that. I'm hearing a really weird background noise. Are you?
No. Classic. There's an afterlife. Duh. What do you think you're hearing?
Anyways, whatever. So we went to a psychic friend of ours, and we're like, listen, we need some clarification. Can you help us to figure out who this Nick and Mike are? And she was like, okay, so you picked these 2 up together at a recent investigation, and they say they're military. And we're like, okay, so that's something to start on. So I'm like, oh, we obviously must have picked them up at Lang's, because it's the only place we've been that had anything military related.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, so we go back to work and we're like, let's sit down and ask the ghost box questions. So we're like, Nick, what's your last name? And it was Walsh. And like, we asked the same for Mike. Don't ask. I have their papers somewhere here. I just couldn't find them in time for tonight. I don't remember, but we got a last name for Mike. Okay, where do you live? Mike was like, Indian River, which is Peterborough. And Nick said Toronto area, like Ontario. And we're like, did you serve in the war? Like, were you part of it? We heard yes. We're like, okay, so I've got some possible names now and some locations. So let me take a look. So I went on, and of course, with my little sleuthing skills, I did find a Nick Walsh, and not spelt like the way you think Walsh would be spelled. It was Walch.
Mm-hmm.
And we did find a Mike, and I can't remember his last name. Okay. Exactly how they said. The Mike was from Peterborough. And then this Nick guy, he was living in, I'm going to say Windsor area, because he was actually living in the States when he signed up for the Canadian military. Oh. So yeah. What'd that say?
Bite.
What?
I don't know. Bite.
Anyways, so we're like, okay, so these must be it, because, and then it said they served at the exact same time in the same battalion. We're like, okay, so maybe these are the people. So I took these, I printed them off, and we took the paperwork back to the psychic, and I was like, listen, are these them? And she's like, they're saying, yeah, you found them. And we're like, oh, what the heck? That's kind of cool. But she's like, but Rachel, they have a connection to you. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It's just like, they're connected to you. I'm like, because I investigated? And she's like, no, they're connected to you because of the war. And I was like, I only had one grandfather that went to the war, like went overseas, and he never came home. And she's like, no, not him. They're saying not him. And I'm like, then who the heck is it then, right? So of course I had to go into my own family tree. Now, my grandmother on my mom's side, so my maternal grandmother, she was 6 months old when her father died. None of us knew him, obviously. And nobody we didn't know who he was. Well, guess what? Turns out my great-grandfather served in the same battalion as Nick and Mike at the same time in the same war.
It's so, I love hearing that story.
It's one of those, like, that's when you talk about full circle, like this literally, like, full circle smack right back in your face, right? Like,
yeah,
that was one of those moments when I knew, like, holy crap, this is like truly real. Like, I'm not just chasing a ghost. Like, this is real. And then I was told that Nick and Mike chose Allison and I because Mike liked Allison because Allison reminded him of his daughter.
Oh.
And Nick just liked to watch me brush my hair in the bathroom. No, I'm not creepy at all.
Wow.
As long as that's the only thing he likes to do, he can watch me brush my hair all the time. And guess what it is now? Super long, and he can watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure he likes to watch you brush your hair.
But you know what? I haven't heard from either one of them in a while. They haven't really popped in. Every now and then they pop up and say hi.
I'm in my 40s. Same.
Me too. I can say that now. I'm in it.
Oh, this is probably Mildred because she was 43 when she died.
Yeah.
Hey, Mildred. Millidilly. Next, it's going to be like, go fuck yourself.
Spanish,
my name is Mildred.
Don't get it wrong. Yeah. So. And that's another reason why I really like Lang's, because it was one, it's just a place that kind of connected everything.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's so interesting. Like that you went at that time and that you chose to be in that area. And yeah.
I know. And he chose me.
Exactly.
I started
here. I once lived here. So Matthew? I mean, it could well have been Mildred, although Cadmus, as stated before, was not quite here.
No.
But
very specific of where she was.
Well, what's your name? Let us know your name, please. Whoever once lived here. Well, my next one's it's just a quick ditty. And it's not necessarily close to home, but it involves my sister. And it was kind of the moment when she went, holy shit. Because it's pretty cool. So my sister and I do kind of a cool sister ghostly getaway every year. I reached for you. Oh, I remember. Are you the person from the story I'm about to tell? Well, hello. So, um, earlier this year we went to Charlottetown in PEI, and whenever I go away, but of course when I go with my sister, I search out cemeteries and graveyards because I love to go visit them. And so we had searched out, there's actually not a lot of big cemeteries on Prince Edward Island, which is becoming an issue right now because they're running out of space in the 3 cemeteries that they have. And they're like, where are we going to put all the dead people? Anyways, so Sherwood Cemetery is the biggest one, and that's where we ended up. The original cemetery is called the People's Cemetery, which opened in 1849, but closed down fairly soon, and then is just left. I don't know why they closed the cemetery, but they're like, fuck it. No one else is allowed to die. So then
No
Sherwood Cemetery opened in 1874. It was the primary burial ground for the for the city.
It is shitty
of
out there. Not knocking
Charlottetown.
PEI, but I'm not sure if I'd go back.
Yeah, I don't know that I would either. It was beautiful, but it's more just because of like we did it all in 5 minutes. Anyways, so it became the primary burial ground for the city of Charlottetown because it is close to the railway. We are curious. And there was a special funeral train which transported the casket and the mourners from Charlottetown to the designated station, which is right near the cemetery. Because otherwise, how the hell would they get all the way across the island to like take the people to the one and only cemetery that they have? So, it doesn't tell me how many graves there are, but there's only 600 spaces left. You can't find your way. Oh
To the
dear.
cemetery?
Maybe it's Mildred because she couldn't find her way in the snow.
And it's gonna snow like shit tomorrow.
And she used to live here. Well, Mildred, howdy. So there's a potter's field that is located kind of as you go in, it's on the left, and there's even a plaque, but when you Google it, it denies there being a potter's field, which is really weird. I'm like, why would you deny that it's there? For those of you who don't know what a potter's field is, it's basically where the destitute and the poor and
Criminals.
yeah, like anyone who's riffraffy would have been buried.
Anyone who wasn't allowed to have a religious burial.
Yeah. And it's just, so they're saying the original potter's field was where the People's Cemetery was. But there is a huge field right there that clearly marks it. Anyways, doesn't matter. So here's the reason why this is a story. My sister and I went in and we started walking around, and I said to her, we kind of stopped in this one section, and I was like, oh, I should put on my Spirit Talker app. And she's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's where the ghosts are going to talk to us. And she's like, okay. And so I turned it on, and a slew of information came out, and it said, I am a child. My death was horrible. Sickness took me. Standing behind you, Thomas, I'm only 8. And we were like, what the fuck? And I'm not kidding you. When we looked directly, what? You can hear us. You hear us. When I looked directly down at the grave in front of me was the grave of Thomas Riley, an 8-year-old boy who died in 1873. Now, when we Googled that era, smallpox was really rampant and kind of went through that entire area. So there's a good chance that that's what killed him. And so, yes, his death would have been horrible because it's smallpox.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister's like, because it was like so right on. It said a bunch of other stuff too that was kind of really cool. And then we started moving on a little bit more. And then I was like, can you give us your another name? And we got the name Katie and then Thompson right after. Boom, boom. And sure enough, within the perimeter of where we were, I had to do like a full circle because her name was on the other side of the grave, was a Katie Thompson, who was born in 1890 and died in 1972.
That's my dog.
It's not Caitlin or Catherine and the short form. It was Katie Thompson, which is Katie's kind of a newer name for an 1890. I don't know. I feel like it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nancy came along. No, she didn't.
Fuck Nancy. No.
So it was really good. And it was just really cool for my sister because she was just like, whoa, like for it to say Katie Thompson, and she's right there.
Yeah. Hold on. Keep talking.
Jay.
Keep talking.
You are brave to answer that phone call. Well, I'm kind of finished now, but I can keep talking if you want me to keep talking. I don't know what about. But so it was just really neat. And it's just another example of it probably isn't just a coincidence that these words come out of here, because it was so precise, especially with little Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
That was really sad. But it was just really neat. And as you can see by Kesta sitting here, we do get random stuff that you're like, what? But it might make sense in the scheme of things, but we're just not fully privy to what's going on. Who's walking around over there? It was really loud.
I keep seeing you like look over and say, my dog's yelling at me. My internet just like I froze like for a few seconds, and I was like, damn.
That's too funny.
Good.
No, I just heard like a few footsteps in the kitchen.
So talking about this is probably going to give you a lot of fucking shit tonight. I apologize. But anyways, so I have one too. So again, a lot of the like my experiences kind of, what does that say?
Doomed. Didn't you just say? Talking about this is probably going to give you a lot of shit tonight.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm not doomed. How dare you?
But anyway, so working at that escape room, we had a lot of time to work on things. However, working at that escape room also opened up the door, apparently, as a beacon of light for any dead person in the area.
Malfaction?
It's like Maleficent. It's just evil. Or something like that. But anyway.
So like where you were just saying you worked at.
Well, it wasn't evil, but it was like a beacon of light. So any dead person in the area that needed help all of a sudden started coming into this building. So we had like, we knew who like the resident dead people were, but when new energies would come in, we would know. So one night, my other half Jay was with us, and we were just investigating, and it was just us. We were just doing our own thing because we were bored, right? So he's upstairs in the one room, and he's like, okay, I have a male here. And then him and Allison were kind of going back and forth, right? Like, okay, does he look like this? Right? Like they were like, okay, he's got dark hair. And they were like, yeah, like they were literally like, they weren't feeding each other, but they were describing the same thing at the same time, right? From their perspective. So they were talking about how this person, he was murdered and it's not solved, and you know it happened on the bike path, and you know Jay was picking up, because Jay is intuitive, he was picking up on like, but it's not just him, there was more, there was another one, and you know both of these are unsolved, and you know it just happened so quick, and all this kind of stuff, and we're like, holy shit, like, you know, we're in a house. The bike path is, yeah, it's across the street and right there, but what the heck? Anyways, of course, I do some digging. And yeah, there are a few murders on that bike path that are unsolved, and they will never be solved, sadly.
A few. I'm pretty sure there's more than a few.
One of those, and you know, what did that say?
I have bad memories.
Oh, one of them was a guy named Brandon, and the other one was a guy named Sean. And I'm not going to say last names because I'm not going to get into that. You can look it up if you want. But they were both murdered on that bike path. And it wasn't pretty. And one of it had to do, we think, according to everything, it had to do with a bad drug deal gone wrong, and the other one was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And we ended up actually bringing in the daughter, well, the adopted daughter, but she calls herself her daughter of the one. We ended up actually bringing her in and having her talk to a medium to kind of set that energy, just to kind of calm it down. The other one though, it was really strange because where his life was taken, I actually used to walk there every day by myself in the dark on the bike path to get to and from the bus stop when I first moved to Oshawa. So there was that. Never even knew that a year before I moved into where I was living is where his last breath was taken. Never knew it.
Wow.
So he became kind of like, he was the one after a while that would start bringing, I guess you would call them lost energies, to us at the house, at the manor, the escape room. And we would kind of, what did I say? Gladys. We would
she's back again.
Damn it, Gladys. Listen.
She's the stripper. Gladys is the stripper.
But yeah, he kind of brought everybody to us that needed help, and we tried to do our best. He would say, like, we would ask him, like, why are you still here? Like, you can move on. You don't have to stay.
It was deliberate.
And he would say that he did too much bad stuff in his, like, physical life, that he felt like this was him trying to repay that back by helping others. Right. So we left it at that. We didn't force him to cross over or anything. But with the information that we actually got out of that ghost box session, and with Allison and Jay, Allison actually went to the police with us. And they looked at her and was like, how do you know this? This
right.
is advertised anywhere. And she's like, I don't know, talk to dead people.
Now so she's on some sort of watch list.
she tells Ryan this, and he's like, oh yeah, for sure they looked into you after this. But
I would imagine so.
It was just, it's sad to know that it's probably never going to be solved. Even though it's solved, but it's never going to be solved. And everybody knows that. But yeah, so that's another, like, really close to home one too, right? Like, with the sex. So Brandon's murder was first, and Sean's murder was second, about a year later. The thing with Sean's murder, what?
Yes, it's me. Sean?
Brandon?
Oh, Brandon.
B-Dog. The thing with Sean's murder was that the psychic that we had on the team and her son, they were both on our team, they lived at the location where Sean walked up to and started banging on their glass door for help before he died on their patio, pretty much. So talk about connect that whole, again, full circle, smacking you right in the face.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to home. So
dang.
I got a lot of stories like that.
When you guys left the escape room, is that when Brandon sort of stopped, or was it after you'd helped enough people?
He will come in every now and then, and he'll be like, yo. So if you're listening to a ghost box and you hear, yo.
Oh, that's him? Well, I know when we were at the Beck house, he came through, because both you and Alice and Louise shut yourselves, and I was like, what's
because he doesn't come through as much anymore. Every now and then we'll hear, yo, and then we'll ask, who's there, and sometimes you'll hear B-Dog, and we're like, oh, hey, Brandon, and that's it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where he lives in the afterworld. Like, I don't
Right.
know.
Just cruising around.
Yeah.
Well, my last one is a nice one. I've had to change the name and a little bit of the information only because of the circumstances of this story. So, this brings us back to the King City investigation on November 1st, ironically. So myself, Rachel, and Kathy from the Paranormal Seekers are doing a public investigation, and we're in the original train station for King City. And stuff's starting to kick off. And all of a sudden, we got a recording of a gentleman saying his name was Frank. That's not his name, but that's the name we're going to name him. So this name came through on Spirit Talker app, and Kathy said, "Hi, Frank." And we watch all of this place. She said, "Hi, Frank," and the REM pod went off. Then the name Frank came through on a different person's device. And so Kathy said, "Frank, are you related or connected to this building?" Nothing happened. And so she said, "Well, we're going to move on to the next building. Would you like to come with us?" And the REM pod went off again. We kind of thought nothing of it after that, but I'll circle back to it in a moment. So that was on, when did we go there? Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you who don't know, my day job is a massage therapist and an energy healer. So the next week, the next week,
Did you just say 8?
Eight, yes.
The number? That's how many
Yes.
dead people were at the manor. 8.
That's crazy. And wait, 1, 2, no. I was going to say, was it the 8th that I saw this person? But it's not. Okay. So I'm at work, and my first client of the day, she's a regular client. I've seen her so many times. She comes in, I'm working away, and all of a sudden, this male energy shows up, and he's like, "Hey." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I know you're not here for the client that I'm working on." And he's just hanging out. And I'm like, "What do you want?" And he's kind of not really saying anything, but he's really fun. He's really fun and kind of like got a bit like a jester kind of energy. Like it's circusy kind of like, woo. So my first client leaves, and now I have a brand new client. I've never met this client before in my life. She shows up. She's super cool. She comes into the room. We have a little chat. She gets on the table. And when I come back in the room, this man is here again. Now, this is not the first time this has happened to me. When it's a brand new client, I have to gauge whether or not this person's going to be open to me being like, "So there's a dead person here with us today." Most of the time, people are pretty cool about it, but you do have to decide, like, you know, to read the room. So I start working on her, and I'm like, "Listen, I got to tell you something. There's a man here." And this is kind of what he's saying. He kept saying to me, "I'm here for my twin flame." And she's like, "That might be my husband." This is your home. This is the second time you said that. So she's like, "I think that might be my husband. He died a few months ago, and I've been thinking about him lately." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, when I ask him, 'How did you die?' He's like, 'I just stopped breathing.'" Like, and then he starts laughing, like, "Ha ha ha." And I was like, "Well, technically, I guess that's what literally happened."
He's not wrong.
Right. And she's like, "Oh, then this must be my husband because that's literally what happened. He was in hospital, the sun came up, and as the sun touched his face, he stopped breathing and he passed away. And it was beautiful." And I was like, "Okay." But I'm like, "No, It's not your husband. He's telling me he's your twin flame, like a brother, but not related. And she's like, I don't know. And then I said, he's saying to me, tell her I'm in a suit and show her like my jacket and look how fancy I am. She goes, holy shit, it's Frank. And I was like, and she's like, he explains to me the story of Frank. I'm not going to go into detail because it's their personal story, but they had met later in life. It was purely platonic. Basically, she met him in a time he really needed just a friend. And Frank had had a pretty hard life, and he was just kind of down on his luck. Now, he passed away very suddenly, and it was very tragic. Essentially, he owned a lot of things, including a lot of suits. And so when I said that to her, and she's like, holy shit, it's Frank. She's like, I'll tell you why he said that. Because I'm mad at him right now because he left and I have all of his clothes, including a ton of suits and a lot of fancy jackets. So the fact that he made reference to, I look at my jacket, she's like, that's how I know it is. And she's like, I would say we were twin flames because she's like, there was nothing ever romantic, but we were so connected, like twin flames, like brother, sister, they were that close. So he had gone to visit his friend where he was keeping a lot of his clothes, and he was supposedly going to get some of them. And this was when we had a massive heat wave here in Ontario. Now, this is much again. Okay, who is this?
You're not
Please
talking
tell
enough
us.
about them.
Bernie's apparently
It's
not.
Devitt.
So Frank had gone to his friend's house. I heard both it was either the garage or a barn, but either way, he had gone to get some things. 3 days later, his body was found. No one knows what happened to him. No one knows how he died. And unfortunately, due to the heat, he had somewhat putrefied, so there's no way for them to tell. We like to be left alone. Okay. There's no way to tell what he actually died of. They think he succumbed to heat stroke and just basically passed away, which basically would mean he just stopped breathing. So where did I go with this? So anyways, it was really nice because this client was like, I literally was talking to him this morning and I was like, Frank, like you left and I got all your shit and I don't know what to do with it. And it's really beautiful stuff. So she doesn't want to throw it out, but she feels bad giving it to like a homeless shelter because it's really expensive, really nice stuff. And she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. So it was just really nice that it all made sense. The bad lady's here. Who the hell is the bad lady?
Gladys?
Mildred, or are you bad? I don't think you were bad. You were very
You know
nice.
what I just thought of? You know what she could do? In like April, May, DRPS and other organizations get together to do the whole like prom thing where they take suit donations and dress donations. So if they're super nice, why not donate to that and let some kid enjoy prom without having to worry that they're not going to be able to go because they can't spend the money.
Exactly.
Right?
There's
And
also,
then, they have that suit for forever. Right? It's not a rental.
My home again. Okay.
Listen.
Whose home is it?
Glad it's you tonight, not me.
Yeah, they're pissed off right now.
Tell
us your name, please.
I turned my app on, but it'd probably just tell me to fuck off.
Sorry, Chester.
I feel like I'm going to turn it on just for shits and giggles, just to see.
You should. I want to see what it says. So at the end of it all, it was just really nice. And he kind of just hung around just to tell her, like, I love you. But it wasn't until a few days later, I was like, oh my God, we kept getting the name Frank 2 days prior. And I wonder if it was him. And I found out he might have a connection to being in that area of the city. How strange. So it was nice in the sense. Oh, I didn't ask for a name. Doris. We've had Doris before, or is it Dorothy? Okay. Doris, can you please tell us your last name? Because then I can actually find out who you are. I don't know if there's a Doris Devitt.
Appreciation.
Oh, it is. I guess it would be appreciated if we knew your last name.
I'm learning to use this.
Disarray. Doris Disarray. I don't think that's your last name.
Mine says I'm learning to use this. Yeah, because I never turn it on in this house.
Yeah.
There's some weird stories about my neighborhood, so that might be a whole other podcast, but we were told that the house behind us and to the right, a lady was murdered and the culprit ran through my backyard to get away. I don't know.
Down.
No idea. Don't know.
Well. Anyway, so that's the nice little heartwarming story about that lovely man. And I'm just glad I could reconnect the two of them. And
well, we could leave it at that.
That's I don't really have anything else to say about it. No. So it was just a really nice, and I'm very appreciative to my gifts because honestly, sometimes when stuff like that happens and you've got to approach someone and be like, so I have something to say to you. There's always the possibility someone's going to be like, what the that none of that makes sense, which I have had happen before.
You're Teresa Caputoing someone.
Exactly. Oh, I have the nails on today, like her.
You should
I should have got the hair. I'm like, I'm picking up on that because she does that thing with her mouth.
Well, it's better than
I love you.
My name is Irene.
My name is Irene.
My name is Irene. Hi, Irene. Sylvia Brand had long nails too. It's the one. Remember, she'd always pick her teeth. Want to hear my new book? It's a boy. Actually, I had a girl, and they were twins. Brazen Bull. I feel like that's a torture chamber sex thing. Is it?
Strip club? No, I don't know.
Brazen Bull. Doris Disarray Brazen Bull. What's a Brazen Bull, Chester? We don't understand.
Let's Google it.
Okay. Chester, this might be your last time as co-host.
Yeah.
Not that we don't love you.
The Brazen Bull, also known as the Bronze Bull or Sicilian Bull, was a legendary ancient Greek torture and execution device.
I knew it.
Why?
I don't. Chester, what does that mean? Communicate.
We've talked too much. It's torture.
What it is. He just wants to communicate.
No, he just wants to talk. No one else talks, just him.
Okay, so talk, Chester. Go ahead. You talk. You tell us your Christmas list. What would you like for Christmas, Chester?
Choose.
It says choose.
What are we going to choose? He wants to be rich. Don't we all, Chester?
Me too, Chester.
I love you, Chester. That was the best answer. Thank you, Chester. That was fantastic.
He always gives the best.
He really does. Well, I don't know that we can not have you on again on a podcast, but I just don't know if you want to be on every single podcast. I feel like sometimes you're like, for fuck's sakes. And you literally said it to us. So
that's true.
We'll see.
That's true.
We'll ask the people what they want. If you want Chester to continue to be on our thing, let us know. Mm-hmm. Are you excited, Chester, to come to Creepmas and see the people? You're going to be out in public, so you've got to be on your best behavior. I don't know if that's something. Oh, dear. Michael. Calling you out, Michael.
Mine said Constance.
Ooh, I wonder if they're Devitts. They sound really familiar. There's a lot of Devitts. Well, they had let's see, the Devitts had 11 kids, the original, and then Matthew had 10 kids. So there's probably going to be a
they had the hopes
Michael.
that if they had that many, maybe a few of them would survive.
Exactly. And I think they all did.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh, shit.
Yep. Got 10 mouths to feed now. But anyways.
Dang.
Well, if you have a...
The lady screams at night. That's a bit, don't tell them these things, Chester. You shouldn't be listening to this stuff.
Secrets.
Do-do-do.
If you have a story of a really cool connection that kind of was like a full circle, we'd love to hear it, because this stuff is, I've got so many of them. Like, I could just go on and on and on, but this would be a 4-hour podcast and people would tune out after about 2. Because we would just ramble. But if you have a really cool story, send it to us. And you can...
Just to finish it off, a little satanicness from the chest.
Not a ritual. But yeah, send it to us. You can send it to us email. So paranormalpodcast@gmail.com. So PAREHNORMAL podcast@gmail.com, or send it to us on Facebook or Instagram. We love to hear about it. And yeah, we are now off on Christmas vacation.
Christmas vacation.
For
Christmas
the next few weeks.
vacation.
So there will be no new podcasts, but we are going to post our favorite 3. We have our top 3 for each of us. So we will repost those ones over the Christmas holidays. So you guys could take a listen and try to figure out why we picked those 3.
Definitely.
But yeah, so we will have that. And on Tuesday, so the day after this airs, so Sunday, so on the Tuesday, stay tuned, because I'm going to post a quick little video on where our location is that we're going to be spending the night at in the spring, just Kaz and I.
Oh, and Chester, because I was like, do you want to come with us, Chester? And he's like, I must go there now.
Yeah,
we're like,
we don't get a choice with him. But yeah, so so stay tuned for that, and that'll be it. So have a very Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yes. Jealousy again.
He's jealous.
He's jealous. Yeah. Well, that's it, Chester, for this year. Do you have any final thoughts to say to the world about yourself and Christmas?
Or the podcast?
Don't be a stranger.
Oh my God.
Good job, Chesty.
Maybe we'll do, in the new year, we'll just do one entire episode where Chester just talks the whole time.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll even put the necro on for him to use his voice.
Ooh, that would be scary. Would you like that, Chester, if there was just an episode of you, just by yourself, just talking?
With
Probably.
Kaz in the background.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out, la la la, just so I know you don't fall. No? All right, well, we got to say goodbye, so goodbye from me and Chester. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Everyone live in harmony. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Chester. Yes.
His parting words is harmony. Anyways, so
peace and love and harmony.
And brazen bulls and Spanish donkeys. Anyways, have a great Christmas, everyone, and we will talk to you in the new year.
Yes.
Cheerio.
Bye. Bye.